from all over the world. We
Yeah.
actually create local change and global dialogues.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Conversations with MM. This is Marivir Montibon here in New York City. Hope you are all doing good. It's summertime already, so um, enjoy your. It's the season for short pants and light cotton clothes, right? So, but now it's stormy here in New York. So, ano muna kami? Back to our hoodies and raincoats. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very special guest. I will be in conversation with Isa Buencamino. So, Isa built a remarkable global career across 5 continents. And then at 50, she made a brave choice to build something entirely on her own. She is, to me, a facilitative leader. She facilitates leadership. Isa spent nearly 3 decades inside some of the world's biggest multinational organizations, coaching senior leaders from New York to London to Zambia to Dubai to Singapore. And now she has founded the Women of the World Coaching. It is a global community that has now reached over 300 women across 32 countries. And what started as one coaching cohort of women who simply refused to leave the program ended as something that has grown so much into a sisterhood. I love that word from it's really sisterhood. It's really supporting each other. And I'm so honored that I have been one of her students lately. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Isa Buencamino. She's in London right now. Hi, Isa. Thank you for joining me.
Hello, Marivir. Thank you so much for inviting me
You
today.
look,
I'm really, really honored to be here.
you look great. I know you were just out from a meeting, but thank you so much for this time.
It's my honor. Thank you for inviting me and sharing your audience with us at Women of the World. Thank you. Thank you,
Yeah.
po.
Nako. Isa, tell us a little bit of before you decided to uh, bring forth Wow Coaching. How was it dealing with white men, mostly in the corporate world, and coaching? Tell us about it. How did someone like you do that? What was the
Wow.
formal structure and the heart behind it?
So straight into it, huh, Marivir? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So it's true. Part of the reason why I started WOW coaching is because for most of my career, I've only ever really worked with men, white men
Mm-hmm,
specifically. And that's
mm-hmm,
because for the first 3 decades of my career, I was in leadership development and I was working for big corporate. And
mm-hmm.
as it happens, the sectors that I worked for was male dominated. The high potentials, the ones who were identified to become the future CEO or the managing directors, they were all men, white men. And because I was working for a big multinational organization, so
Mm-hmm.
as it happens, so if you can imagine 3 decades of leadership development, siguro 90% of the high potential, wonderful talent that I worked with were mostly men.
So how did you what kind of leadership coaching is that? Do you train them like writing communication skills or organizing skills? Ano yung content niyan, Isa?
So it's leadership development and usually geared towards high potentials or the ones who are on a fast track to become senior leaders of their sectors. So
Uh-huh.
it's less about training as it is about uh, mindset, confidence, courage. Yes, of course, it has teachable elements, the ones that you need to know
Like the skills.
almost, yeah, like aligned to MBA skills, ganyan.
I
But
see.
outside of that, it's about raising self-awareness, it's about improving relationships with other people, it's about learning to self-manage,
Uh-huh.
respond with positivity every time they face challenges. And those things you cannot teach necessarily. It's not necessarily a skill.
Uh-huh.
Most of
Yeah.
the time, it's about shifting mindsets.
Right. So, were there not any resistance because you're a woman, you're Asian, and you were young. You're young. So, how did you? How was that?
That was really hard, I must admit. I left the Philippines, I was 26. So my first job abroad, I was in the UK. I was 26 years old.
Mm,
Honestly, when I left the Philippines, Marivir, I thought I was going to be away for 2 years on a secondment, and then I was going to go back to the Philippines. Of course, I never went back. I'm almost 54 now.
uh-huh,
So it's been, what, 28 years? I've been living outside of the Philippines more than I lived
mm-hmm,
in Asia. And in the 28 years, I lived in five different countries. I became a professional expat, I suppose. I'm married. I'm married to a Filipino. We've been married that length of time, 28 years.
mm-hmm.
Um, it's hard.
Uh-huh.
It's very hard. And also if you're Filipino,
Yeah.
even though you're 26, 28, 30, you look 12. Who wants to take
Yes.
you
They always.
seriously?
Did you experience having been asked your ID when you went inside
Yes.
the bar?
And there's a good and bad side to this, right? On good side,
Yeah.
isn't it great to look eternally young?
It's
But
flattering.
in business, they don't take you seriously. So
Yeah.
I learned how to. Well, first it wasn't easy. It was hard because you have to work harder. You have to be
Mhm.
better. You
You have
have
to
to be
prove yourself, even physically, right?
all of it. You have to be better. So not only because you're a woman, then also if you're a minority group, part of a minority group, Asian, Filipino, let's call it.
Right, right.
You gotta work harder. You really do. And smarter.
So how did you
So,
prove yourself worthy of it? Like you were able to command the respect and the leadership.
do you know what I had to do? So,
Yeah.
the thing is, it was very hard for me to go establish authority already because one, I'm a woman, and also my personality. I'm not exactly the how do you describe it?
The feisty look.
Yeah, I'm not feisty at all. You know me, Marivir.
So
I'm quite
gentle.
soft spoken.
Wow.
I'm
So sweet.
assuming. No arrogant, nothing, right? And so it was hard. It was either I had to start behaving like an arrogant, fierce person who I'm
Yeah.
not,
Yeah.
or I had to figure out another way to do it. And the way that I had to do it was I found myself allies,
That's the
people
style.
who
That's the tactic.
who support me, who believe in me, who think I'm amazing, who think I'm really good at what they do. They do not see my color, they do not see my gender. So for
Mm.
every organization that I was in, I looked for them, the ones that I can work with, ally with, who have my back. And
So
I
were they
think that
women
helped
or
me.
also men?
Yeah, mostly men, because already at a certain level in the organization, there were hardly any women. And
Mm-hmm.
to be quite frank, the
Mm.
women who were there were not exactly the most supportive either. So
Yeah.
I would say, of course, a mix of men and women, but mostly men, because just from statistics, the people who were in senior positions were mostly men.
Right. So how did you balance that kind of life? You were in corporate world, you were raising a family, you have two children, right? So paano yan? How was it going? How
That
was
was
family
really
life?
hard. Of
Yeah.
course, it was one of my favorite people in the world, Lloyda Lewis. And we all love Lloyda Lewis, right? Remember, she said one time, na, Isa, you can have it all. You can have it all, but just not at the same time. She said,
Yeah, it's a matter of timing.
you can have it all, but not at the same time. So it's very hard. I have to say that it's probably the reason why I started the startup, my own organization at the tender age of 47, 48.
Yeah.
Tanda ako
You
na.
dared, you dared.
Because up until then, I wanted to prioritize my family, my
Yeah.
children, my parents. Even
So they're
though
with you in London?
my parents had passed, they were in the Philippines.
Oh, so sorry about
That
that.
meant going back home a
Mm.
lot,
Okay.
prioritizing my husband, my family, my children. And that meant I had to make choices.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really go for the biggest jobs because I didn't want to have that life where I had to sacrifice my relationship with my family for a job. So I didn't. And it was only when my children were older and my parents, my father had passed, and as I found myself with more time, that I dared to dream and ask myself the question, is there more?
Wow. You know what? Like women, usually we do the sacrifice for the children and family. We put ourselves much later in terms of, you know, career and really doing our what's in our hearts. So did you think you started late? You
Okay.
could have started better or no regrets naman?
I have no, absolutely no regrets. My son asked me this on Father's Day. We were talking about if I would change anything. I said no. I will go through all the heartaches, everything, because I feel that I needed to go through that for me to have done what I'm doing now. I cannot be who I am right now if I didn't go through the hardships that I went through.
It was
So, and
necessary for you, right?
yeah, and I love my life right now, so I don't want to change that. So I wouldn't change a thing. The thing is, though, Marivir, I
Yeah,
was lucky. My husband is incredibly supportive. And
that's
I did not stop working. I did not stop working. However, I did not go for the biggest jobs, but I stayed in the running, and I somehow managed to still have a career and raise my kids and look after my family. The difference was because I'm in talent and succession planning. I know what a supposedly successful trajectory of a career looks like. It's really quite pataas ganyan, di ba?
accelerating, consistent.
I didn't have that. Mine was like
Oh,
sideways, upward,
ooh,
downwards,
zigzag.
all sorts of directions.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't mind because in my head I was thinking I was collecting life experiences. And one day,
Mhm.
everything I've done in the first 3 decades of my career, going zooming all around, all over the place, it will matter one day. And here we are. It
My
it
gosh. You have
it
arrived.
matters now. I've arrived.
Wow. And I'm part of that arrival because I was one of those students of yours in the
One
coaching
of our participants coaching said,
participants.
"Thank you for saying yes." And you know naman that we look for the wow women. We
Yes.
look for them. It's not just offered to anybody. Women of the world are hardworking women who have ambition. They want to make a difference.
Hmm.
Oh, there's some of us. I can see
Yes.
Anna and Jeannie
Uh-huh.
who the one value that we all have is kindness.
Yeah.
So, and we are very we embrace our femininity. We don't want to behave like men. We
Hmm.
want to lead like with authenticity. We want to lead like who we are and try to make it in the way that we're built, not to pretend to be
So
anything else.
great. Isa, do you psych up the women like you observe them and then invite some people, some women who you feel like has the vibe of kindness? Do you do that?
Yeah. No,
Psyching?
oh, I will never turn down anyone who wants to do wow coaching.
I see.
I've never turned down anybody. I've never had to. I think somehow we attract them.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, if you are some people think we're too soft, or maybe being emotional and softy, that's not for me.
Mm,
Somebody who values emotions and not who's courageous enough to be vulnerable,
mhm.
somehow it aligns to the same value of kindness. Somehow parejo. I have never met somebody who is comfortable being vulnerable, who is incredibly arrogant or
Mm.
doesn't care about people. I don't think it's the same bucket.
It cannot happen at one time
Mm.
in one person at the same.
Yeah.
Wow, amazing. So, who's your inspiration? Who's the woman inspiration you have? Let's begin with that. That pushed you to do what you're doing right now?
A lot. I
A
would
lot.
not say there is one person. I have my idols. I have the women who have inspired me, who pushed me on.
Mhm,
I stand on the shoulders of other women and men. I
mhm,
stand on their shoulders. I don't think I would be here if not for some of these people who helped me, and not just women, men and women, who've helped me. So I am eternally grateful to them. In some ways, this is why I'm like the way that I am. It's about paying it forward because some of these leaders who've
mhm.
created space for me, they did it out of the goodness of their own heart. They were also paying it forward,
Yeah.
and I learned a thing or two for them. But to give you some names, I
Uh-huh.
would already off the bat, the women in my family, my mom, my mother-in-law. My mom was a housewife, but she
Mhm.
was a fierce housewife. That she was a boss. My mom was a boss. The shout out to all the moms out there,
Yeah.
our moms who were, you know what I mean, right?
Tiger
Boss.
moms, tough
Yeah.
love.
And I grew up under the shadow of this very strong woman, but she stayed at home. What changed my perspective though was when I met my mother-in-law. So my mother-in-law is a businesswoman.
Uh-huh.
For her generation, she's now in her 80s. She had her own business.
Right.
She was incredibly independent. To this day, incredibly independent. She was the one actually who told me when I got married. She told me
Mhm.
she put me in a corner. I said, Isa, she said, Isa, whatever you do, even though you have children, do not stop working. She told me. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's not usual, right?
No,
For
that's not usual.
a mother-in-law.
So, and she's a lovely human being. She's
Uh-huh.
great. And
Wow.
I've been really I don't know whether I've been lucky, Marivir, to have met these people who came into my life at the right time, or whether you just need to have a mindset and openness to allow these people to show up.
Mhm, mhm.
If you're not paying attention, if you're not looking, you won't find them. If you're only looking for what's wrong, or you know what I mean? But if you're always looking for inspiration, you'll find it.
Yeah, the universe will provide what your heart craves. I believe that. So
If
tell
your
me,
heart is open, 'di ba?
yeah,
If your heart's open.
how is mothering in UK? Were you raising your children in UK or elsewhere too?
Oh, when my husband and I got married,
Mm,
and so one of the contracts, we had a contract. We pulled out a flip chart and we wrote the
really?
promises. Yeah, when we first got married. And one of the things we promised is no matter what happens, if we have children, the children will stay with us. Because I know, a lot of our kababayan, the women in our country, sometimes they don't have a choice. They have to like send their children back to the Philippines to be raised by the grandparents, right? And I said that no matter what happens, kahit magkahirap-hirap,
Mm,
let's try. Let's really try not to send them home. So it was hard because unlike some countries, like maybe in the US, you have a nanny. My
really?
children were born in Belgium. None of that. I sent my kids to the creche. I
What?
had no yaya, no
It's
none of
more like
that.
a daycare?
My children were raised in a daycare, and in fact, I remember when I put them in daycare, how difficult that was for me. Can you imagine?
The anxiety, right?
Yes, and also my parents, my mother, who's a housewife. She stopped everything to raise us. She was questioning the
Yeah.
decision a lot. Now, Isa, what are you doing? The children, they might, oh my God,
Be-
it's gonna be terrible. They are gonna be serial killers one day. I don't
yeah.
know. Because
Oh my God.
pero
So
di ba?
yeah.
Di ba?
So were they small? Were they babies when you just had
Yes.
to leave them?
Six,
Infants pa?
yeah. Six,
Wow.
9 months from a crash in Belgium. Yeah. I did that, Marivir.
Wow.
It was
When did
it
you
was a leap of faith.
Oh yeah.
Huh?
Yun lang talaga. When did you put them in? the morning and then
Grabe.
time in
Yeah.
the night.
Oo, gano'n. So, hindi naman every day. I was working part-time still, but there was no nanny, none of that. No, it was just my husband and I, and that was really hard. And I know a lot of moms and Filipino moms understand how difficult that was and how scary it was. But you know what my God, what helped me was I paid attention to the people in the country I was living in. I was thinking, um, a lot of them seem to be okay, despite the fact that they had to go to a creche. So just
Is
because I don't understand it, I
mm,
don't agree with it, I don't like it,
mm.
doesn't mean that it's bad or wrong. Let me try and see how it goes.
Yeah, yeah. So is this government funded or private? You had to pay.
It was both in Belgium. These places are funded,
Hmm.
so
So
it's
it's a good
still.
system for, the economy is very brisk, and, raising kids and being part of the labor force is very, like simultaneous yan eh. So it's hard. It's congratulations on that.
But bottom line, Marivere, I certainly wasn't earning enough to get a full-time nanny. Did
Uh-huh.
not, no. So I had to use the creche system in Belgium, and then when I moved to England, so the
Yeah.
children were born in Belgium, and then when we moved to England, same thing. They went to nursery, pre-nursery, and then primary school. And when they were in primary school, they had to stay in aftercare. My
Uh,
children had to stay in aftercare. Pero the fact is, my daughter is a doctor now. My son is a classical guitarist. You
yeah.
know why? It's because the 3 hours they had to stay in primary school,
Uh-huh.
they had to do music lessons.
Uh-huh.
They had
So
to do gymnastics and to study. So tuloy,
that's
ang dami
impressive.
nilang skills.
Uh-huh. Buti naman. So did you have it in your mind and your husband na ano ba sila? Are they consciously Filipino or global citizens na ba sila?
They're
Are they
global citizens. I would say they're global
mind?
citizens. Alam mo, but we were very conscious about, well, first of all, my children went back to the Philippines every year of their life.
Oh.
So even though I was raising them in England,
Mm.
I didn't want to raise them as if they were still in the Philippines.
Yeah.
So I had to adjust the way I parented my children as I raised them here.
Mm-hmm.
Pero as much as I could, pinapauwi ko sila sa Pilipinas, usually during summers, to spend time with their grandparents.
So
So
they liked it, I'm sure.
I wanted them to know that
Uh-huh.
they had a home in the Philippines, and even though in their hearts, my children, they're Brits, they
Mm.
associate themselves with the UK. They're not 100, not really 100%, because, or
Yeah.
at least they understand, they really understand Philippine culture.
That's good. So there's like they like certain foods, they remember certain
Oh,
pagkain.
yes, they eat all of that. Adobo, kare-kare, pinakbet, palabok, pansit,
So you
lahat.
you cook to Isa?
Yes.
Oh, you
That's
do.
my love language. That's my
Oh,
love language.
how nice. So that holds the family together, I suppose.
In fact, if you ask my
And then
children,
your emotional support.
no, for sure. You know,
No,
when I ask my children, how do you know I love you? Kasi I was working eh. So
yeah.
how do you know I love you? And I was so surprised that what the answer was, that we had dinner together as a family every night, and you cooked us a good meal every night.
Wow. Ang galing naman. So, what's the name of the children and what's their favorite food? Tell us.
So there's Andres, who's my youngest. He's 21.
Uh-huh.
He loves to eat? Oh, I think Andres would probably be kare-kare.
Wow. That's a
And
that's a difficult recipe. That's a special food. Takes a lot of effort.
effort to prepare. I
Yeah.
actually think both Bianca and Andres love kare-kare. Pero between them, sinigang.
Okay. Sinigang na
Baboy. They will come home. My children don't live in my house, the house anymore, but they
and
will
look
come home
for
for
that.
food.
So
Mm-hmm.
you're like, come, I'm cooking. Then they come.
Actually, both of them cook really well. Kasi nga,
Oh,
that's the love language of our, we're so busy. We only have 2 hours a day to really focus on each other, and that's 1 hour dinner every night.
uh-huh.
And when they were children, I read them a book
Right. Wow.
to bed. Yeah.
Amazing you.
That's
Amazing.
all I can do. Yeah.
Galing naman. And so right now you're an empty nester na ba, Isa?
Yes, I'm an empty nester.
But that's fine because you have wow coaching.
Those are my new children.
You're like you have 300 women in your fold who are all over the world.
Yes, I know them all.
So how
Once
does
a
their
while, always a while.
I know, right? I mean, I feel the sisterhood really, no etching. It's true because it's very welcoming and you have the capability to listen and facilitate and get our the gist of our message each time we speak. And
Oh,
that's a
thank you,
key.
my dear.
Yeah, that's key to being a good listener, which is important, an important element of leadership. So, what's the prospect for WOW in the intermediate?
What are our growth plans or what's next for
Yes.
us?
Yes.
Right. So right now we average about coaching about 50 women in our main program. We
Mm-hmm.
take on a few hundred for our free master classes, and we do meets. Those are free things that we do. And we've had over the last 6 years, 50 women we find. But for the next few years, we want to scale up. We want to find more of them. So and grow.
Yes.
So I don't know. Wouldn't it be amazing to grow the sisterhood into thousands rather than just hundreds? So that's a dream of mine. That's the first. The second, I want to do men of the world,
Oh, really? Now you're talking. So,
not just women of the world, but men of the world. And
what?
it's a counterpart coaching program that supports men just feel like they're allowed to be a little bit more feminine, in the way that they lead. It's not just about profit, that they can care and, dare I say, love their teams and the soft side of leadership. So I think that's also key to to balance leadership. It's not just working with the women. We've got to work with the men.
That's amazing. I believe that because, like way back in the Philippines, there's this group called Men Supporting Women, who are the feisty ones. Then the feisty ones organized men too, so they wouldn't go home not fighting each other and not looking at, like, women leadership as a competition. So I look forward to that, Isa. That's really great.
Wouldn't it be amazing if our boys, our sons, they grow up and they know that they have a choice? Like if the women want to lead the family, well, why can't the man not step
Support
back and be the one to be responsible for the family if he wants to, if he chooses to,
and not
right?
the ego.
Yeah, so if women are already stepping up and they say, we want to change the dynamics of roles here, we want to be X, then we need to prepare our sons, the men in our lives, so that they feel that it's okay too. Maybe
Mhm.
some of them never wanted to have lead careers. Maybe some of them are so stressed because they were raised to think that that's the job that they were supposed to do.
Right,
What
right.
if it's not, diba?
I think
So
men are stressed and they're just quiet because in all across the world, like men die ahead of women. So
yeah,
they're more stressed and have no way of channeling those pent up emotions, and
absolutely
they
true.
don't
Men die
allow.
younger. They are so
Yes.
stressed. They're not allowed, almost taught how to express their feelings. Some of them are like emotionally constipated, literally.
Like
Kawawa din, kawawa naman.
Yeah, like unlike us, even if, like, for example, you and me, we just knew each other, and yet we can already touch base with how we feel. We talk already about, I feel sad, I feel humiliated or something. We express that outrightly, right? We're not inhibited. That's also the power of the woman's heart, I suppose.
So in WOW, I talk about male and female leadership styles, and they are not exclusive to men and women. You know, each of us have both.
Right,
Women need to have agency and ego. You need that to lead, to step into space. And at the same time, we need to keep that side of the feminine energy, which is about softness and caring and vulnerability, balance. And
right.
wow, actually, if you look at the vision and the mission of wow, ultimately what grounds us and what focuses our energy is not about necessarily about gender equity. It's really more than that, it's balance.
Right.
Balance, not like in gender, in everything.
Correct. Amazing. And it's very commendable that you do this, Isa. In your years of this kind of work, what is the most difficult part that you have surmounted? And the perky ones. Tell me first what's the most challenging, and then the perky ones, doing all this women of the world coaching.
I think maybe if there is a challenge,
Yeah.
even though women of the world, we share similar values,
Mhm.
because wow, women come from about 32 countries, different sectors. Well,
Yeah.
we have similar values of service, impact, kindness. We're genuinely different people.
Right.
So whether the participants, holding a space for participants, or coaches, the
Mm.
coaches that I have in the collective, very, very different. And you
Mhm.
have to hold space for everyone to feel like they can be their whole selves, not worry about offending anybody, and just somehow live in harmony, support.
Mhm.
That's challenging to hold space. We know if you just look at the wars happening in the world, how very different people would rather fight than find something in common,
Right.
and to work together to move forward in what's common rather than what's different. And as founder of wow, holding that space and asking everyone to do the same
Mhm.
probably is the most challenging.
I
I
see.
can I can tell you a story.
Go ahead,
Oh,
please, please.
so one time I when one of our master classes,
Mhm.
the topic was love in leadership,
Okay.
and I had a diversity of women in the room, Americans, Middle Eastern women, Asian women, and we couldn't agree. You know,
Oh,
on some cultures, the women would say the importance of their partners and being in love and all that and changing and adjusting so that you could have balance with your partners. And then there are some cultures saying, no, no, women should never have to change and if independent, you don't need love, you don't need a man. And but how do you hold space for these views? Because no
yeah,
one is right, no one is wrong. It's
correct.
just different views, right? But holding a space where the conversation is genuinely triggering.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that's one example. And unless we're careful and we don't hold space, people will disagree. You were in WOW coaching, and
Yeah,
you know that despite the fact that you guys were getting along, you're very different people.
we are. And we were amazingly loving each other for the
Yes.
for that past 5 weeks or 6 weeks that we were together. That's amazing.
But
And
it's about holding space. I think it's about holding space and also tapping that side of humanity that gets along rather than the side that doesn't.
you know what? With this, you are very well a diplomat, Isa.
Yeah, maybe. Yes.
Yeah. And so tell us naman about the perks of this work. I'm
Oh,
sure your heart overflows with this.
mm. You
It's your,
know, the thing about coaching, what it is that I'm very passionate about is to help everyone that I coach to identify the thing that if they do really lights them up, like, passion and purpose and all that.
Mhm,
That's I think that's my calling in my coaching, is to support people identify the thing that if they did, it's their best life.
mhm.
So I would say, at least for me, the perks of coaching is it's my purpose, it's my passion, it's
Good.
my ikigai. And
Yes,
so to be able to live what you believe is your life's purpose is the absolute perk. It's the perk of the job. But
yes.
that's for me. And I wouldn't say that it's for everybody, but everyone has their unique thing that sets them alight.
Amazing. You. Yes, I do agree with that.
Mm.
So I'm sure that in the coming days, you will be living your ikigai, talking to women and facilitating
Always.
their minds, their fears, and their desires. So thank you, Isa, for what you do, and I
Thank
really
you.
look forward to the
The
men,
Mao, men of the world.
yeah, men of the world coaching. Oh my God, that's really my bet is that's going to be very challenging, but a lot will enroll in that. Is that the word enroll? Is that,
Sana, that's my dream. We'll
is that
see.
happening this year?
I think maybe next year. I've identified the coaches already. There are a few people that I have met in the last few years whom
Mhm.
I know will make fantastic coaches for men of the world.
Uh-huh.
Watch this space.
Yes, we said it already to the universe, so it's going to happen. I know it's in the works. You're working on it, cooking in your heart and mind.
I'm cooking. Cooking.
Cooking. So thank you so much again, Isa. Look, we just more than 40 minutes, almost 40 minutes has gone, and I love talking to you. Thank you for the time once again, and I'll see you in New York. Right? You're coming back.
Yeah, we're coming back next year to join hopefully
Uh
for the
huh.
federation. But I might see you sooner. I think we're joining the conference in Malta, the
Oh
federation's
yeah,
conference
yeah.
in Malta. So
Yes.
I might see you there. Yeah.
So that's November. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Yeah.
Looking forward to the reunion. So thank you again, Marivir, for the invitation. I so enjoyed our conversation.
Yes,
And
it's too short. Thank you, Isa. Ladies
all
and
right.
that's Miss Isa Buencamino from London. And I hope you enjoyed it. Please take care of yourselves and take care of each other. See you again in our next episode. Bye for now. Thank you,
Bye.
Isa.
To her feminist perspective, I
Yeah.
think that's really where I get
You got it from her.
social justice was so important to her and has become important to me.
We became very mindful of our environment and our planet.
Oh, nice.
And we took baby steps. Of course, everything is about baby steps.
Yeah.
We just had to make our programs bigger and it could reach more people.
Toronto is so culturally diverse because there's so many Filipinos in Toronto. But
Yeah.
what I don't like is higher education. There's not a lot of Filipinos. Even higher management, there's not a lot of Filipinos.